Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm David Wallbridge, Associate Director at Harris & Clarke, and today we're talking about a topic that could literally save you thousands of pounds and massive headaches before you even lift a shovel. We're going to discuss whether it's worth getting professional advice as early as possible, what commonly gets missed during the first stages of a project, and the sometimes painful consequences of skipping proper due diligence. So whether you're building an extension, developing a site, or looking to start that major works project, this video is definitely for you. So let's get into it. Let's start with the big question. Why should you bother getting professional advice right at the beginning of a project, sometimes referred to as RIBA Stage 0 in the industry, before starting building works? The short answer, because you don't know what you don't know. And in construction, that can get very expensive very quickly. By seeking professional advice early, whether it's a building surveyor, architect, planning consultant, or all of the above, you get the benefit of a trained eye looking at your scheme from every angle. We're talking permissions, investigations, approvals, buildability, and risks, all assessed before anything starts on site. It's like laying a metaphorical solid foundation before you build your actual foundations. This early stage is where you spot the red flags, deal with the legal stuff, coordinate the technical issues, and make sure the whole thing is even viable in the first place. It's not just paperwork, it's risk management. Too often do I hear about issues that delay projects where if thoughtful consideration and analysis of a project had been undertaken, the issues would have been identified early on and could have been designed out. Now, let's talk about what gets missed when people skip this stage. And trust me, we see it all the time. Party wall matters, one of the big ones. If you're working on or near a shared or boundary wall, like a side extension, loft conversion, the Party Wall Act may well apply. We have an extensive collection of videos on this topic which I encourage you to watch. Getting professional advice early on means you'll know whether a party wall notice is required and how to handle it properly. Done right, it's a smooth process. Left too late, it can cause serious delays, disputes and costs. Another thing people often overlook is where your existing services are and where your new ones will or can go. This includes drainage, electricity, gas, water, and even fibre optics. If you don't check this early, you might find yourself building over a public sewer, which triggers the need for a build-over agreement with the local water authority. Not something you can always get away with. Miss that, and you might be forced to alter or even remove completed works. No exaggeration. The next issue is planning permissions and building regulations. Seems obvious, right? But you'd be surprised how many people think something falls under permitted development when it really doesn't, or they assume building regs approval is just a formality. Without planning permissions or building control sign-off, you can end up with a stop notice, enforcement action, or difficulty selling the property later. A professional can review your drawings and flag any planning or regulatory gaps before they become a problem. If you're working on a tricky site, sloping ground, flood risk, near trees, protected habitats, you don't carry out the right site investigations, you're building on unknowns. That could mean structural surprises, drainage issues, or foundation problems down the line. A surveyor engineer can advise you on what survey needed, whether that's ground conditions, utilities mapping, structural assessments, before you commit to anything, and potentially have to stop works on site, face extra costs, or even lose your spot with the builder. Here's another one that people forget. Where exactly is your boundary? And do you have the right of access to do what you're planning to do? Can you place scaffolding where you need to? It's amazing how often legal boundaries don't match the physicality on the ground. That could mean encroaching on someone else's land, and that could land you in legal hot water, with works paused whilst disputes get sorted. So, what actually happens when you skip professional advice and dive into construction? First off, let's talk about delays. This one's almost guaranteed. Whether it's because of unapproved works, neighbour disputes, missing surveys, or regulatory issues, the project grinds to a halt while you sort it out. Delays means holding costs, disrupted schedules, frustrated builders, and disappointed clients. Not ideal. Extra costs are also highly likely. Every day we see projects that go over budget because of things that should have been picked up early. Maybe it's rerouting services, redesigning drainage, resubmitting planning applications, or hiring specialists at short notice to fix a problem that's already happened. And trust me, fixing a problem after it's happened is always more expensive than preventing it. You'll also be risking damage to relationships, neighbours, contractors, even your own team. Stress and delays and mistakes can put serious strains on relationships. You might end up with complaints, legal letters, or even having to rebuild trust with your contractor if they lose confidence in the project's direction. So what about non-compliance and legal risks? This one's a biggie. If you build something without the right approvals, you could be looking at enforcement notices, fines, or even being required to take it all down. You also risk invalidating your insurance or causing issues if you want to remortgage or sell the property. It's just not worth the risk. On the flip side, when you do seek professional advice early on, everything flows better. You've got a clear roadmap for permissions, a realistic programme, and a properly scoped budget, and a team that knows what they're doing. You avoid surprises, keep everyone on side, and give yourself the best shot at delivering your project on time, on budget, and with a lot less stress. Plus, professionals can often suggest smarter ways of delivering your scheme, more efficient designs, cost savings, or technical tweaks that improve the final result. It's not just about avoiding disaster, it's also about maximising the potential. So, there you have it. Seeking professional advice before you start construction isn't about ticking boxes, it's about protecting your investment, reducing stress, and giving your project the best possible foundation. It might feel like an extra step and potentially feel like a costly one, but it's one that pays off over time and time again. If you're at the early stages of a project, or even if you've just got an idea and don't know where to begin, have a chat with someone who knows the ropes. It could save you a lot of trouble down the line. As always, if you need any help or advice on this or other topics, please feel free to contact us at harrisonclarke.co.uk, and I'll see you in my next video. Thanks for watching, and I hope you found this useful.